Follow me into the dark.
Hey weirdos! I know it's been forever. I've changed my YouTube name to Dead is Better. If you hear moving around, it is my dog. He decided to get up as soon as I started talking, so neat. But I've privated all my other videos because I'm gonna start this fresh and new. I made my YouTube channel when I was married. A lot's changed since then. I bought a house, which we are currently in. I'll do a tour eventually. I'm still kind of setting things up. I bought it a year ago, but a lot goes into a house. If you've been following me on Instagram, you know I have. I went basic and got an undercut. It goes kind of all the way around my head. But my hair's changed. Lots of things have changed. So, I wanted to talk about one of my personal favorite things, which is the Ouija board. Now, I want to preface this by saying I'm not doubting or disagreeing with anyone's experiences that they've had with the Ouija board, whether they're positive or negative. My personal experience is I've never had a super overly bad experience with the Ouija board, or talking board, spirit board, whatever you want to call it. The Ouija board was coined by William Fuld back in, I believe, the late 1800s, early 1900s. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But it doesn't bother me. To me, I see it more as like a piece of occult history. It just goes to show that we've always been trying to mess with things we shouldn't mess with, and I guess that's kind of just part of being a human, is doing things that you shouldn't really do. My hair is just crazy. I just want it to be out of my face. There we go. But I have all my Ouija boards out, and I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 altogether, 7 of which are Ouija branded boards. I have, out of the 8, 6 of them are older vintage boards. I'm not going to get every single one of them out of the box. This one is my favorite. This is my 1950s era Fuld. It's when William Fuld was still on the box. This one is a Baltimore, Maryland one from the 50s. I do have a board that's literally exactly the same. The only difference is it says it's made in Salem, Massachusetts, which is when the Parker brothers kind of bought out Ouija and all that stuff. So, this is the one I like to use with most people. I always get responses from it, yet I never get anything negative that comes across this board. Now, the kind of funny thing is that kind of Spectre Reaper, I'm just moving some boards around over here. It is on most of the boards that you will see, as far as, I want to say that started in the 30s, maybe 40s. There were some special editions, like this guy here. This is the deluxe wooden edition Fuld. It is when Parker Brothers bought it. I'll take this guy out because it's pretty cool. It even still has the piece of original tissue paper on it. So this, again, it looks like the traditional board, which all the William Fuld base boards or Parker Brother boards, you're going to get this typical sun, moon, goodbye, like what you think of when you think of a Ouija board. The planchette is really nice in this one. It's wood. It still has this plastic eyepiece with the coffin pin, which is what that guy's called. The main difference in this one is most of the vintage boards are made out of masonite. This one is actually made out of wood. I found it on eBay. You don't see them too terribly often. They are out there if you're interested in one. You just kind of have to do some digging. The other cool special edition that I have, and I probably won't get it out because it literally looks the same, The only difference is this is Parker Brothers again. It still mentions William, or no? Yeah, I had a brain fart. It still mentions William Fold on it. This, however, is the king size board. I don't even think it fully fits into frame. But if you look at the comparison, if I can hold them both up, I'm gonna just kind of feel like I'm on like The Price is Right or something. It's quite a bit bigger than the other boards, or the standard size board. I don't know what the dimensions are of it right off the top of my head. I want to say the boards all have numbers if you're looking for one. I want to say this one's number 601. It has a little number here. 601, if you ever see that, is the large king size board. I believe this guy is number, 602 for the wooden special edition board. Now, when the Parker Brothers actually bought the board, I'm going to talk a little more about Ouija boards. I just wanted to give you guys a little quick show of what I have. This is the 70s one. This one was revamped to where this similar art is on some of the newer Ouija boxes. This is the 72. The thing I like most about this one is this nice red insert that the planchette sets, and then the board is underneath this. This one is the nasty one. The only mildly kind of eerie experience I have. It was creepy. Nothing bad happened though. I don't think it was as big of a bad of a spirit as it was playing it out to be. But me and my mom used that one, and when we asked what its name was, it said its name was God, and it definitely wasn't God. We were using a ghost app too in conjunction with using the board, just to see if they were similar. And they were kind of similar and kind of spot on, which is really creepy. And it was like saying it was trapped in my basement and stuff. Now I have some corny ones. This one is a newer one by Hasbro. The main reason I have this is a coworker brought it to me. They bought it. I think you can get this pretty much anywhere. It's not a fancy board. I like that it looks old. The board's pretty. Then I have the real corny glow-in-the-dark board. A subscriber sent this to me a couple years ago. This one you can get at Walmart. It's probably the one that they used to have at Toys R Us before Toys R Us closed. It is made by Parker Brothers. So it's like a quote-unquote true Ouija board as opposed to the Hasbro. The other one that's underneath the glow-in-the-dark one, it literally looks the exact same. The only difference is that Salem, Massachusetts here instead of Baltimore, Maryland. And this one is more like from the mid to late 60s. This was the last board that had the specter on it. After that, in the 70s, is when they went to the board I said that was creepy with the red insert. Then I got this one. This is the last one. This is made by Hasbro. It's a Swami board. And as you see, it looks very similar. It kind of has kind of like a Middle Eastern feel about it. This is a 41 board. This is when this was kind of marketed. It's made out of a similar masonite material. It didn't come with a box. I bought it at a local shop. It does have a planchette. The planchette that came with it is not technically the one for this board. I can't recall what board it's for, but it's a cool wooden planchette though, so I'm not mad about it. But that's my Ouija collection. That's not to mention I have a Ouija bar, like a standing bar in my spare room that I've painted with planchettes. I have end tables I've painted with planchettes on them. I have glasses. I have bottle openers. I have coasters. I have necklaces. I have keychains. Like anything Ouija. I love it. Last year Spirit had a lot of Ouija stuff, and I got the like to-go glass ceramic coffee travel mug thing, and it's got Ouija on it. I have shirts. Like Ouija just kind of takes over my life. I also started collecting dolls, which is kind of funny because they used to freak me out. You can see back here, this little, I'm backwards, this clown doll back here. That's one a friend brought me from a thrift store. In my room that you can't see, the guest room is like off to the side here. I have a lot of Raggedy Ann and a few Andy dolls, mainly because of, the Conjuring and the stigma surrounding them. Altogether, between my Raggedy dolls and a couple porcelain dolls, I have about 17 or 18. When I first moved into this house a year ago, I think I had 2 or 3 maybe, and now I have 18, 17, 18, something like that. I have a really big porcelain doll in the living room that's probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 foot tall. This video doesn't really have a rhyme or reason. I got off topic on the dolls, I'm sorry. But I've been watching Ouija experience videos all day. I'm working from home today. I had a doctor's appointment. Nothing serious, but I'm in a little bit of pain from it. So my boss was like, just kind of take the rest of the day off. So here I am. But using a Ouija board isn't any different than me sitting in my house right now and saying, is anything here? Come talk to me. Because basically what you're doing when you say, is anything here, or are there any spirits that want to talk to me or talk to us if you're in a group, you're basically leaving your house with your front door open to where anyone could just walk in. So if you don't use the proper precautions, if you're not a real strong-minded person, I wouldn't recommend using it. I honestly don't recommend that anyone necessarily use a Ouija board or talking board or make one. Like, it's not anything to play with, and I understand why people do it. I know why I like it and why I do it, and why I still occasionally use my boards is because it's exciting. It's that thrill of like that tingling in your hands. I know for me, when I know a spirit is using the board with me, my hands almost get like staticky and numb, like when your hands go to sleep, but it's like instant. It's not like a gradual thing. And it's exciting, and it's like, wow, like something's actually moving the board. Like I've actually made contact with the other side. And I get it. It's exciting. It's fun. It's interesting. It's unexplainable. And maybe it is all your subconscious. I don't know. I feel like the responses I've gotten in my experience, I don't feel it is. You could tell me up and down that you don't believe in it. That's totally fine. I'm not here to persuade anyone that this board or this piece of masonite will let you talk to the dead, because sometimes they don't talk. I have boards that I've used and they never talk. And then I have some where literally within 5 seconds of me sitting down and getting all set up with it, it'll just talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. So it's the energy of the board. It's the fact that you're reaching out to something that's beyond us and that we're not supposed to mess with technically as living beings. But it doesn't matter if it's bored. It doesn't matter if you're going ghost hunting, if you're using a spirit box, if you're just doing an EVP session with like a recording device or your phone and just asking questions. As soon as you pursue the paranormal, you're opening yourself up to that. Now, I know some people might, again, disagree with this. I don't feel that if you watch horror movies or if you listen to something paranormal, that it's going to stir things up in your house from like watching it on YouTube. If you do, that's totally fine. That's your opinion. I've just personally never had that happen. So that's kind of my take on the Ouija board and really the supernatural in general. If you don't want to take a chance of potentially letting in something evil or demonic or negative or like overbearing and depressing, whatever word you want to use or whatever experience you've had, is don't pursue the paranormal. And I'm not saying don't find it interesting. And like, yeah, do research, you know, like read articles, like watch YouTube videos. I love hearing people's experiences. I could literally talk about it all day long, like all day long. And that's normally what I do as far as I listen to paranormal podcasts or strange, like odd podcasts. I listen or watch YouTube videos at work, more listen when I'm at work, about experiences, and I watch horror movies, and like my whole life is about paranormal things. And I hate to say it's an obsession because it's not. I definitely do other things that aren't paranormal. And I enjoy things that aren't paranormal. Like I watch comedies and other genres of movies. I just would prefer to watch horror movies. So that's all I'm saying is if you're going haunting, going ghost hunting, just be prepared for the repercussions. And for me, I have to just be careful in general where I go. Sometimes I could go to a place that I don't even know anything about, that I don't even get weird feelings about, and something attaches itself and follows me home. Like that's just something I have to deal with, which links into the happenings that have been in my house, but I'll save that for another video because I don't want to run out of paranormal experiences. But the good thing is now that I've started my channel over, I can kind of retell them and maybe format them a little better than they were before. But I hope maybe you learned something. I don't want to change anyone's mind. I am not in any way saying the Ouija board is a safe way to talk to the dead or something safe that you should use on a regular basis, because in all reality, it's not. I'm not saying they're just a toy. If you feel that way, that's fine. But the main reason why I like them is because they're a part of history. They're showing we've always wanted this. We've always wanted to know more. We're always on the search for that spooky, weird shit, and I love it. And I love to think that people in the 1800s were doing the same shit that we're doing now as far as using Ouija boards and getting freaked out. And when spiritualism in the 60s, or well, like 50s to early 60s was a thing, that's awesome. I love it. But to end this video, I'm going to say, don't go buy a Ouija board just because you feel compelled to. And I know it's hard and you want to know if it's real or not, but go on YouTube and watch some experiences. Listen to people's cautionary tales. Be prepared if you really decide you want to use one, make sure you're safe about it. Read some articles about it. Like, make sure you set ground rules when you open the board. Light a white candle. Say a protection prayer of whatever domination or religion, or if you just want to say some little opening thing that makes you feel better, those are the steps you have to take. Always close out the board. The only rule I disagree with is using it alone, because I use them alone all the time. But if you're a newbie, don't do that. Especially if you're someone who's never dealt with the paranormal, don't put yourself in that situation. That's like walking the street in a busy city and not looking and just walking across the crosswalk and not even paying attention to if there's cars coming. So don't put yourself in a bad situation when it comes to supernatural things, because unfortunately you can't always see what it is. I mean, sometimes you can, but you know what I'm saying? It's not a tangible force that you can control, or like a person you can just like easily kick out of your house, because that's normally not the case. As I found out, I sage my house once a week, not because of the boards, but because of something totally different. I have weird feelings in my basement. It's just like dark and dank down there, and all my boards are actually upstairs, which is funny. So yeah, I'm gonna quit rambling, but I'm gonna try to post weekly. I don't want to commit to that because I work a full-time job. I have a full-time boyfriend. I have a dog. I have summers coming up. I work out, so I'm going to try to squeeze in time for this. I know this video is like 20 minutes long of me just fucking rambling nonstop. But I hope you liked it. If you have questions, please ask me questions. If you have any recommendations or something in particular you want me to talk about, or if you want to ask me about an experience and have me tell it next time, let me know. But yeah, that's it. So weirdos, be careful and stay scared.